Reaching on the yeah.
What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the one and only Big Guy Fantasy Sports Network live here on YouTube. Make sure that you like, you comment, and you subscribe. You already know the vibes. It's your boy RumboyzRobbie. That's TDS Taco. Together, we make up the Goal Line Goons.
Let's go.
What a fucking fantastic Week 9. Like, okay, I mean, obviously, depending on what side of the fantasy football equation you were on. For me personally, it was a beautiful fucking Week 9. It was a beautiful Week 9. Given I am in 35 leagues and pretty much in almost, for the most part, every single one of them, I just like laid the smackdown. You know, it was a vibe. It was a vibe. Really quick, I do want to take the time to make sure I shout out the consistency guide. Make sure you head on over to BigGuyFantasySports.com. Check out our consistency guide. Check out our rankings. Check out all of our tools. Check out all of our other podcasts all over there. Check out all the articles. It's going down over on Big Guy Fantasy Sports. Also, I want to plug the Fantasy Football Expo really quick. Tickets go on sale Super Bowl weekend. I know you guys are like, Robbie, it's week 10. Why are you like letting us know about the Expo now? Because, damn it, I want to party with all of you. I'm going to be there. It's going to be litty. Rumboy's house is going down. So head on over to Fantasy Football Expo. Get ready, get in line, sign up for that email list, get in line for Super Bowl weekend when tickets drop, when tickets release. And then also, finally, I want to shout out a brand new partnership here at the Big Guy Fantasy Sports Network, here at BigGuyFantasySports.com. It's our homies over at Parlay Play. $100 match. Make sure you use the promo code BGFS. We got NBA props over here. We got NFL, NHL. It's taking a minute for the NFL ones low. We got NHL going on over there. There's League of Legends and much, much more. Make sure you guys head on over to Parlay Play, promo code BGFS. All righty. Yeah. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to talk. So
let's get it. There's just so much to talk about. There's both sides of the spectrum, but
yeah, we're gonna try our best to make things as like condensed, but like give as much information. There's probably going to be at some point in this show where we're just going to like free flow. I see we got the homie Leafs defense up in the chat. Hey. What it do? Hey, yo, Goal Line Goons. Hey. The show starts down. We will be back on the other side. Bow. Like, I love how you knew like exactly what I was like. I'm like, bah. Taco, you are running the Consistency Game Show tonight. For those who don't know, consistency here at the Big Guy Fantasy Sports Network. Consistency wins championships. Consistency wins fantasy football games. We are going to go over some players that maybe have not been so consistent, maybe have been really damn consistent, as we get ready and start painting your fantasy football playoff push picture. At least we will be talking about that one later. Don't worry. Taco, Start us off. Let's go quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks. At quarterback, right now in fantasy football, we have 4 players above 200 points. Okay. One of those 4 players is Tua Tagovailoa. What is Tua's consistency, Robbie? The number 4 quarterback on the season.
That's really fucking tough. I feel like there's going to be a catch. I feel like there's going to be a catch. I'm going to side with inflation here, because that's a thing that happens in life. Because he had that 70-point game that inflated things. I'm gonna go 60%.
Close, but 56% is the correct answer on Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay.
It's very close, but I mean,
we're deeper into the season now, so that's why I'm like the percentages now begin to widely vary.
Get a bit ridiculous, yeah, absolutely,
yeah. So that's where I'm like, okay, like things aren't going to be as high as a couple of episodes ago, so on and so forth.
Absolutely.
Tommy DeVito, not related to Danny DeVito. Got some Tommy DeVito bars later on. Got some Taysom Hill bars later on.
I think a cool little side note here in comparison, and this is just a quick touch here. In comparison, Sam Howell, 9 points less on the season, is at 78% consistency.
Would you believe it if I told you that Sam Howell is the number 2 passing leader in the league over the span of fucking heading into week 10?
I'll say this: it's great for my underdog teams.
Yes, okay, yes, it is great for our underdog teams. But bro, that is crazy. Sam Howell must start. Tua Tagovailoa, definitely a must start. Don't let the 56% scare you away, folks.
He's still number 4. You got to play him. He's a home run hitter, and when he hits those home runs, he wins weeks.
I would say like once we start getting around like the 38% range, like that's when you start worrying about guys. Like, okay, what the fuck do I do here? By the way, Taysom Hill is 17% consistency rating. Taco, let's get running back.
At running back, I'm gonna go with a guy that's been, how do we say it, a darling of the fantasy community that a lot of people now are starting to worry about, and Kenneth Walker. And my question to you is, what is Kenneth Walker's consistency rating?
Kenneth Walker in fantasy circles is a very, very interesting guy, right? Because you got people that are like, no, like I'm not trading away Kenneth Walker. But then you got people that are like, do I trade away Kenneth Walker? Because of that side of the crowd and that side of the equation, Kenneth Walker, I address this all the time whenever people bring up questions about him. I always say, hey, top fantasy guy this year. You need to be hanging on to him. You need to be rostering him. We're not panicking over Kenneth Walker just quite about yet. I'm going to say in the neighborhood, with how shallow the running back waters are, I'm going to say in the neighborhood of 70%. He's in that upper echelon, and people just can't accept it. They can't wrap their heads around it.
Right now, he's at 75% consistency, and I think the biggest thing on him is the last 2 weeks have been rough. But other than that, he's been one of the best running backs in the league. When we're looking at it, he's right in the fringe of a RB1, RB2 type. But Kenneth Walker, there we go, is our consistency at 75%.
When I'm looking at the running back landscape, and I look at our consistency reports on BigGuyFantasySports.com, I'm really wanting guys in that 56 or above range. So I may, while don't get me wrong, it's fun to have a Gibbs, who's getting hot right now. Najee seems like things are coming along. I think that, when we start talking about like the Brian Robinsons of the world, I know that Pacheco was a weird week for him, the Germany will let that be. But, Jalen Warren, who's like fucking like just becoming red hot. Rashad White, when we start looking at the Zach Mosses of the world, I think that there's a conversation to be had in that tier. There's some fluctuation in that tier. There's some guys getting hot in that 50 to 60 range that we're going to bring up throughout tonight's show, that I think that you guys really, really got to be looking at. There's some risers and fallers, in that range that you guys could probably go for in trade talks. Well, you want to go wide receiver or tight end? What do you want to do?
Let's go tight end because my wide receiver will set up the next segment.
Okay. What are you thinking here for tight end?
All right. At tight end, I think that we have to look at our boy in Chi-Town. Cole Kmet currently is the number 5 tight end on the season, nipping at Sam Laporta's heels. But of course, Sam Laporta was on bye last week.
So pause.
Pause. Sam Laporta was on bye last week. But right now, Cole Kmet, 108, number 5 tight end on the season. Robbie, what is his consistency ranking?
Knowing that he's knocking on heaven's door, right there behind Laporta. Laporta is in that upper echelon. In that upper echelon, of course, we're talking guys that are in those 80s type of areas. For Quebec, it's really been a couple of boom games. There's been some consistency there for sure. The floor is very safe, but there's been some like home run hitters, which makes perfect sense for his touchdown celebration to be the pop fly to himself and smack a homie. With that being said, and with that being stated, I am going to try and land this one on the nose, and I'm going to go 56%, just because there's that boom factor that is keeping him above the 50%. There was some worrisome time there with the transfer between Bajet and Fields. So yeah,
Robbie, as Rihanna says, standing ovation, round of applause, standing ovation. You got that one right on the head there. At 56%, which is kind of crazy when you think about 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks and running tight ends are 56% consistency. Meanwhile, their top 5 numbers overall, which goes to show you that, some of these amazing guys, they're not as consistent as we thought. And, sometimes playing the matchup works for you, and sometimes you just got to leave them in and just let them rock because you never know when they're going to go off.
A commit to leave him in, let it rock, see what happens. A Logan Thomas is a guy like that. A Dalton Schultz is a guy like that. And K. Dotton is even starting to come on my radar as a guy like, just kind of leave in, see what happens. Kincaid in that neighborhood as well.
I'm not off the Jonnu Smith train.
No. Jonnu Smith actually, he's in that upper percentile. He's kind of, believe it or not, in that upper echelon. Let's see here. I'll actually just look it up. He's
Jonnu Smith right now, 67%.
He's 67% consistent.
2, 4, 6, 8.
Don't get me wrong. In my home league, I smacked in my home league. I completely demolished my opponent from the moment that Frankfurt went on TV for the international game. But starting Higbee over Jonnu, clearly a mistake. Higbee completely. We are out on the rest of the season. We are done with Higbee. Higbee in that 33% tile. We're done, son. Yes, I went full Cameron from Hayden Full with that impression there. You're done, son. You get no chicken, you get no Chinese food, no bonbons, no nothing. All the real ones in the fantasy industry are like, he just went there. He just really went there. Let's get into wide receiver. My favorite position on the field. Taco, go ahead.
All right. So I think we need to highlight one of the stars in green who didn't really get the shine last night. And that is, again, we would say right now he's probably a wide receiver 2 on the season. But we're talking about Garrett Wilson. Robbie, what is Garrett Wilson's consistency on the season?
This is a trick question. This is a trick question. I love this. I love this. I don't think it's as pretty as we probably think. I don't think it's as pretty as we probably think. I think what you're wanting him to. Who the fuck else is getting targets in New York? Is the problem?
You're tilting it like I don't know which way to go.
I want to go north of. I want to go north of 50 for fucking sure. But I know that Zach Wilson is not a catalyst. He's definitely not a catalyst. And
then remember week 1 when Wilson just like tapped that ball up to himself.
I'm trying to counter inflation. I'm like going through every play in my head, but then like I'm also going over how I know that we calculate consistency. Fuck, let me go 60.
He's at 75% consistency right now on the season. 75% for Garrett Wilson. That's right. Mr. Home Run Hitter himself is actually hitting a couple of singles and doubles and making sure that he's a viable player on the field.
Inflation's a motherfucker, huh? I'm just like, yo, like I'm also thinking about last night's game, and I'm like, yo, that should drop it for damn sure.
Yeah, but think about that. That did drop him. Imagine.
Well, we're gonna get into Rumday night takeaways. Here in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Fantasy Football Consistency Game Show. Hope you learned some things. Yeah, we'll be right back. What up? What up? What up? What up? It's the Goal Line. What up? What up? What up? What up? It's the Goons. What up? What up? What up? What up? Hey, tuned.
Oh, it's that time. It's about to get real. We about to open up the diaries, the journals.
Yeah, I'm ready to have some fun. Let's get into Monday Night Football takeaways, Rumday Night Football, as I like to call it. Dude, last night was everything that I kind of expected it to be. I definitely, was on my live stream over on my channel and shit, and I was like, yo, this game is gonna shock the world. I was like, that jet streak is about to end.
Bro, I'm mad I didn't put more money on it. I had it all in parlays. I had to shit it straight up. I knew they were gonna lose. I knew it. My one friend went to the game, and the second he went to the game, I started putting money on the Chargers. I knew once he went to that game, they weren't going to win. They never win when he goes to the game.
Bro, I'll be honest. I had woke up yesterday, and I just had a feeling. I was definitely feeling that I was like, yo, Jets are going to get smacked. Zach Wilson's going to get re-exposed. I was like, that something tells me that the Chargers are going to be like, we need to overcompensate. Like I feel like the players woke up that day and they were like, we need to overcompensate for our incompetent head coach. And they did it. Like the old expression, hey, we got to win by 15 in order to win by 1, that they use in the NBA. George, yo, drop that joint. Drop it. We'll talk about it. We'll chop it up. Throughout the show. I pulled off a 2 absolute blockbuster trades to overhaul my roster. He's like, oh, shit, it's Taco. Yeah, Bosa, Mac, the lineman, they imported from Tonga. Marianne told them so. Yeah, Marianne was probably in the locker room like, get it together. Ah! Like, bro, for real. That game was electric. We follow each other on social media. I have posts out there on different forums where I was very explicitly like, we're going all in on the Chargers today, okay, guys? Like, I'm happy to be the analyst that was on the side of LA. Special teams was fucking phenomenal. Like the kick return, amazing. Davis, we knew that he could do that. We've been waiting, to see flash. We saw flashes of it, of him getting, the Chargers positive field position before. But then in the preseason, if we recall, he also had one of those returns. We're like, oh shit, like that kid's gonna be something. That was amazing. Keenan Allen, 10,000 career yards. We all grew up watching Keenan Allen. Like, that's just, I don't give a fuck what your team is, who your team is. That man accomplished something that most receivers never get to see. And that organization is only him and Antonio Gates.
Oh yeah, receivers.
Yeah. The pass catchers, yeah. No one else as a Charger has ever, so like witnessing that milestone was amazing. I didn't like the post media conference where they're like, Justin Herbert, do you feel like that the offense should have done more? Bro, Austin Eckler had 2 touchdowns. Justin Herbert was throwing some dimes. The offense really didn't need to do a whole lot because the defense was banishing Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson to the shadow realm.
And let's not forget the Jets have a solid defense. That's the only reason why they're in the position that they're in right now, on the back of that solid defense that they have.
Oh, yeah. Very, very, very solid defense. But the Chargers came out from that very first Derwin James hit. That first hit, I was like, it was a statement hit. It was like, that's what type of game this is about to be. Phenomenal. Great work, Chargers. Well-deserved. Yes, Eckler, definitely back. Your Chargers pieces are fantasy friendly. Don't worry. Brandon Staley just has to stop being fucking stupid.
Although we have to admit that Quentin is probably not going to be a thing this year, and I'm going to start moving off him in leagues that I do have him. Once Palmer went down, I was like, oh, maybe QJ is finally going to get cooking. But no, QJ in fact did not get it cooking. He did not have any special sauce. He did not have any Monday miracles. He has not shown any kind of life whatsoever that can justify a roster spot at this point in time.
Well, he body catches, and I told you guys that was going to be a thing, but no one wanted to listen to me. No, that's really what. Okay, really quick. We did touch on it a little bit during the consistency show. Garrett Wilson, are we panicking or no? Zach Wilson, the Jets. I know that Aaron Rodgers, kind of alluded to last night from what we know that, I'm a couple of weeks away from coming back. What are your thoughts? All this Jets team realistically has to do is just stay afloat.
I mean, let's be real. I think this is why I knew the show sheet and I wanted that to be the specific wide receiver I highlighted for the mere point of he's been consistent with Zach Wilson this season. No, and even in this game versus the Chargers, he still had 7 catches for 80 yards. So for fantasy purposes, he's still at 13 points. He's the number 22 wide receiver on the season. Is he the star that we thought he'd be? No. Why is that? Because he only has 2 touchdowns. And if this would have been Aaron Rodgers, he'd have 7 or 8 touchdowns right now, which would catapult him into that upper echelon. And he would have some bigger games where he would be going over 100 yards receiving, which he has only done once. But in his last 2 games, he has 13 targets for 7 receptions and 100 yards in one and 80 yards in the other. In the game before that versus Philly, 12 targets, 8 catches, 90 yards. He's had of his last 5 games, he's had 4 games without at least 12 targets or more. There is no leaving Garrett Wilson. If anything, I'm trying to trade for him because maybe Rodgers comes back, which he's probably not. but at least it's something you can hope for. And you add the fact that he's been consistent. I like a guy like that with his upside. And in the fantasy playoffs, he gets Miami, Washington, and Cleveland, all games where the Jets will have to probably be throwing from. I like Garrett Wilson.
Okay. Okay. I agree about, maybe trying to trade for him. Also like on the flip side, if you have him, seeing if you could move him and come back with a haul. I like that, seeing how maybe 2-for-1 type of situation in that regard. Really quick, start Burrow versus the Texans or Fields versus Panthers, who have one of the worst defenses in the league. Pollard, who hasn't done nothing recently, or Connor, who's been hurt. First week back. RB2 back at RB2, 6-point passing, TD, PPR. Also, Debo, Riley, or Amari at flex. Really quick on Debo, the fact that he's wide receiver 53 on the year and hasn't played since like fucking week 6 is crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's definitely Debo over over Riley Ridley or Amari Cooper for me in that regard, for that portion. Here's the thing with Burrow is the Bengals are back, but the Texans are a force to be reckoned with. It's Fields' first week back. That team needs a spark, even though Bichette hasn't been too bad for him. Been mid as fuck. I know I'm definitely firing up Justin Fields in the leagues that I've been waiting for him to get back, keeping him on that IR spot. Panthers defense, like you said, is one of the worst in the league. You're safe either way. I feel Burrow and Texans going to be a shootout.
Well, I feel like you're safer with Burrow, but you get a higher ceiling with Fields. Fields has a better chance of busting.
Yeah, Fields gives you. Yeah, Fields has a better chance of busting for sure. Pause. I like Burrow in a shootout. I like Burrow in a shootout. Definitely not fucking Pollard, bro. I wish that you had a different
heart.
I wish you had.
What's happening there just breaks my fucking heart. But statistically speaking, the last time he got a touchdown was versus the Giants, and I believe they play with Giants this week. Connor, I mean, he's coming back. You got a situation there when before he left, he was freaking monster. He was doing great with them.
Kyler Murray will be back, and they're probably going to have to rely on the run.
I mean, even without Kyler Murray, they were relying on the run, and Connor was eating lovely. So, I mean, it's hard. That's hard because theoretically, Pollard should be so much better. And when you bench him and he does good, it's going to hurt. But statistically speaking, you probably should play Connor over Pollard. But I'm telling you right now, it just feels like this has to be the game that Pollard breaks out. And that's where I believe
it has to be the game that Pollard does work. I'm gonna go Pollard because it is the Giants. They're abysmal. They fucking suck. Stick a fork in New York. It's done. It's over. There you have it.
Let me get that draft pick though.
I'd go Burrow. I'd go Burrow, Pollard, and then Debo coming back.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If Debo back on that offense, fuck.
Yeah.
That's forced to be reckoned with. Aiden, what's up? So yeah, there was also our Rum Day night recap. Make sure you guys can like drop questions and comments and shit. We'll like try and weave them in, to everything else that we're doing. Speaking of the Bengals, are the Bengals back to being that fantasy football friendly team that we are used to? And following that showing against the Bengals, should we be a little bit worried about Josh Allen's display? A little bit worried. Josh Allen's still obviously still going to finish as top 5 quarterback. Like we'll just start there, right? Like
Yeah,
Josh Allen is still, yeah. Like no matter how many fucking interceptions he throws or whatever the case, the dude's a gamer, dude's a baller.
he's still the number 1 QB in most formats.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not. From an NFL standpoint, I worry about Josh Allen because I feel like okay, you're playing like a typical Bills quarterback, and you're going to force the Bills to bill in the playoffs. You'll get the Bills in the playoffs. Bills will be in the playoffs. You're going to give Buffalo tears again. So that's for like the NFL standpoint. Fantasy wise, I'm not worried about Josh Allen. Throw the fucking picks, Josh Allen. Every time Josh Allen throws a pick, he gets a chip on his shoulder and goes out and tries to erase that pick off the stat sheet. Bengals normal late season run. Kincaid has been kinky. Their defense has been hurt. Yeah, the defense has been hurt. That's secondary.
How about this? That Josh Allen has had an interception every game since week 5. That's not a good consistency that you want to be maintaining.
No, that's not the category you want to be consistent in.
Yeah.
But hey, for Vegas purposes,
I know what I'm betting.
That's always the same prop.
Yeah. Like right now, he's literally thrown an interception in each Jags, even the Giants got one off him, Patriots, Bucks, Cincinnati, and now he's going to face Denver and the Jets. And then he faces Philly. I'm definitely betting him to throw an interception in each of these games and seeing what happens. True story. That's a prop bet I'm taking right now. I'm going to write that down.
Josh Allen pick. Let's rock.
And when we catch that bitch, we're going to be like, yeah. Show me the money, baby. Let me get the Heinz with the mustard and the ketchup, baby.
Yeah, as for the rest of the Bills skill positions. Look, Bills, by the way, still in the hunt in the playoff picture. They are on the outside looking in after that loss to the Bengals. Bengals obviously get to take that 7 spot. So Bills still not knocking on the door. I'm not worried about Diggs. I know that the previous week we were worried about Diggs. We kind of talked about Diggs being last in every statistical category on the receiving roster. This week, showed up, showed out. I think you're gonna deal with that type of volatility with this team, especially a team that's going to have to fight to get a playoff spot. That is fighting from this point of the season on to get the playoff spot. That's also why we titled the show what it is, because these teams that are fighting for playoffs, these teams that are going to be exchanging those wild card spots, those in the hunt wild card spots, these are going to be the teams and the players that are really going to help you out a whole hell of a lot during that fantasy football playoff push. Not worried about. I love Kincaid. I'm not worried about when Knox comes back. If Kincaid's production goes down, I think Kincaid has shown enough and been reliable enough to be like, oh, okay, we can rely on you. Knox, get out there and block. Kincaid, you're now just an extra receiver. Gabe Davis is going to give you boomer bust. Don't rely on Gabe Davis. Don't rely on Gabe Davis. Stop relying on Gabe Davis.
I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Whenever I put Gabe Davis in my lineup, you guys should take him out of your lineup. Whenever he's on my bench, you want to start him, because that is literally how his season is gone.
Understood. Very well. No, okay. I'm with that. I'm with that philosophy. Just make sure you tweet it out. Sunday morning.
Oh yeah, I'm forced to start him in this league this week. So be warned, I am playing all the unders on Davis prop bets right now. A true story. I'm gonna do Josh Allen interception with the under on Gabe Davis yards and receptions.
I like it. With a Buffalo revenge narrative attached to it, a wee bit, keep it a wee bit risky, mate. Why not?
One last thing about what you said about the the Bengals and everything. What's crazy about the playoff picture that they moved up over the Bills, and right now in the playoffs, you have the number 2 seed is the Ravens, the number 5 seed is the Steelers, the number 6 seed is the Browns, the number 7 seed is the Bengals. The AFC North runs the AFC.
Yeah. If it all were to end today, you would have the North all up in that. I don't think that the Browns maintain that, to be honest.
That defense, though, is serious.
That defense is serious. I don't think that it's enough down this stretch, especially as we get into December football. That'll I don't with the
I mean, here's the thing about them. Even though Watson hasn't been great, they run the ball and they play defense. That's playoff football. That's cold weather football. That's what's scary about them.
Absolutely. No,
because imagine if Watson kind of finds his magic. Because here's the thing about Watson. He has magic.
The Browns are going to Brown. The Browns are – that is one thing you can bet on.
I mean, it's going to be fun. There's going to be Browns and Bengals and Browns and Steelers. They're all going to play each other again, and they're going to cannibalize each other, and it'll be interesting to see who beats who.
We're not going to end with four from the North in there.
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Baltimore's playing Cleveland this week. Baltimore's going to beat dog piss out of Cleveland. Meanwhile,
Cleveland wins though.
Do you believe in magic?
Like, you know what I mean? Like that because it's 7-2 for the Ravens. Like they take that loss and they still maintain.
Buffalo plays Denver. You know,
Denver's a punching bag.
But Denver. We don't know what Denver. The thing is with that is that we don't know what Denver team that we're gonna get. I mean, like. We don't know. We really don't know what Denver team that we're gonna get. Whereas with the Bengals Texans, don't get me wrong, CJ Stroud went off last week. That was the Bucks. This is the
my Bengals. God. My guy CJ Stroud versus your guy Joey B.
It's gonna be a fun Sunday morning.
I'm not gonna lie, man. CJ Stroud this season.
Before we get into CJ Stroud, really quick, I want to just wrap up the Bengals topic with this. Yes, the Bengals are back to being fantasy football friendly. Because we've seen this year in, year out since Burrow's been a starter in the league. We're good. You're safe on your Bengals for the rest of the season. Let's get into CJ Stroud here. 1 of 6 active QBs, Taco and Robbie's boyfriend. Wow. 1 of 6 active QBs with a 400+ yard passing game. He's in the company of Mahomes, Goff, Burrow. He's in very top tier. Like when we talk about guys that are pirating their offenses, leading the ship towards the ship, he's up there with those guys. What are your thoughts on Stroud, especially rest of season? Nico Collins, 63% consistency. Tank Dell gives you those boomer busts. Dalton Schultz is up there in that consistency. I'm fully bought in.
Oh, my boy Tank. I started him in 3 leagues. I was hitting so hard. I had a couple of great comebacks because of Tank Dell. I got to say, the way that the Houston Texans have played all season has made you feel optimistic about the rest of the season because these boys have come in and they've showed up and they've showed out. One thing we got to say about CJ Stroud is he's efficient. My man has 14 touchdowns with 1 interception. Think about that as a rookie. Think about what Peyton Manning did in his rookie season. Think about what this kid is doing. Think about the way they talked about they didn't think he was smart enough or they were doubting his testing acumen. Think about that. The Panthers got to really be looking at this saying, damn, we didn't take this kid. Looks like a real one. Like this looks like taking Greg Oden over Kevin Durant type shit. Like you just sitting back like that's a superstar immediately from the second he touches the grass, from the way that he commands the locker room, from the way that his teammates respect him, from the way that he plays football. This kid is a baller. Now everybody like Leafs is saying he's a traditional. He's not a scrambler. He's not a rusher, and that's why they were down on him. That's why we saw Young go above him. But yeah,
he's QB8. He's a 17th. He's a 17th best player in fantasy football overall.
Bro, my man comes out on the field and he says, "I am him. I can do this." It's like
you ready for this? You ready for this? 77% rostered, 52% started.
Bro. All I gotta say is
there's still motherfuckers that have him on waivers in leagues.
Robbie, all I gotta say is thank God for underdog. Cause oh my God, bro, this man is gonna carry me some places. Like him take down Puka, Yeah, we got some of these boys in here, and my point is this: like these guys right here, these young bucks like this, they really make you think like, yo, these new dudes that is coming up, like yes, it's more boomer bust. Like you're not getting the guys that but some of them when they come out, bro, they are like this kid is like holy shit.
That's who used to Uncle Snoop. He played in Uncle Snoop's league, bro. He came from Uncle Snoop's like developmental league, like Pop Warner League and shit. Like came through that pipeline.
Uncle Snoop need to make sure that he highlight that. That's a fucking #1 seller right there. Like, let me get in there, Snoop, because goddamn, I just want to see them boys playing like you got these young kids developing. Like, oh, bro, I failed that before the show. What are you talking
about? Yo, check it out. 67.3 fantasy points in week 9.
Bro,
my gosh,
I am
30 of 42, 470,
5
touchdowns.
5.
Gosh, that
5.
Yo, hey, that look, Cincinnati gonna be a different story. All right, it's not Tampa, but I'll be damned if he don't still put up like 40, like 35 plus. I'll cash it. Stroud's still gonna put up 35. Bengals will win. Stroud will put up 35.
I think we're probably gonna see like 20 something. I'm thinking like it'll be similar to his line versus Pittsburgh. Like 300, 306, two touchdowns, maybe. Maybe 3 touchdowns. It's like 26, 27.
Like a kind of like come back down like having type of a game. Like, I mean the over under is 48. The over under is 48. I think this is gonna be a shootout.
I mean, here's the thing though, because like if Josh Allen couldn't keep flowing. And that Bengals defense didn't look like it was.
It's a good defense. It's a good defense.
It is, but like, I feel like Stroud's gonna move the ball much better than Josh Allen did. Let's put it like that.
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna be dotting them up a little bit better, and they're gonna put more points up than the Bills did because he's more efficient with this throws and he understands the defense is better.
But he's also played with a swagger, bro. That when you're playing like
Josh Allen was on a 5-game streak of throwing multiple touchdowns too. So let's not go. Josh Allen was still vibing.
How many picks?
Oh, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no.
There's a difference. That's the difference right there.
I agree with you on that.
Look, it's still too early to call the young man elite. I want to give him time to keep developing out that we've seen his ceiling yet. But Stroud, you're starting to build towards that path of elite. Really quick, this one's not on the show sheet, but I just want to throw this out there. If you have Bijan Robinson on your fucking roster, trade him away.
All I gotta say, week 1, I said, is this Terry Algier usage gonna eat into that RB1? And they were like, nah.
Because it stopped. It had stopped, and it was like all Bijan for like a hot minute, and then it went back to it.
Arthur Smith is a dick. That was where part of my thing came from.
He
This man is
hates
just
him.
a pure, like you
He's a
literally,
physical.
like bro. He gave who else did he? Was it John Smith that got a run in that goal line situation?
Yeah.
Like bro, what the fuck? Like this
Arthur Smith
reminds
hates
me
fantasy
of the
football.
Super Bowl when they said we're gonna make Russell Wilson throw it at the one. Motherfucker, even if they know it's coming, beast mode. It's called beast mode for a reason. You stand up next to
Folks, what
Tyson,
up?
it
Subscribe
doesn't
to the
matter. He
channel.
will still knock you out.
Devontae for Marquise Brown and Javonte. Bleh.
Actually, that's not that bad when you think about Marquise Brown is now going to have Kyler Murray, and Marquise Brown was pretty solid. And now Javonte Williams is seeming to get more of the running back share.
That was last week. Hold on, week 8. I'm sorry, was the only time that Javonte saw 60% of the snaps.
You are correct, but he was dealing with the injury before that. He was coming back from the injury, and then he got another injury, so it was a little bit weird. And now it seems like they're transitioning back into giving him more of a workload. And when you let's couple in the fact that the Raiders right now, that's a really unstable situation. So I kind of like actually the 2-for-1 here. Let me just look at Brown's number real quick because that's the main thing.
I like Brown as I mean, he's wide receiver 20 on the year. I like him getting Kyler Murray back. Clayton Tune.
I think that alone is like
stock last week.
I think Marquise Brown alone for Devontae Adams, you could argue rest of the season who's better. It's like it's because of the fact that Aiden O'Connell is now Devontae Adams' quarterback. Yeah, that does make this much more of a question mark.
Devontae Adams has dropped over the last 2 weeks. Devontae Adams has now dropped to wide receiver 14 on the year so far. I do agree with trading away Devontae. I do still believe that you can get pedigree for Devontae. One, because it's Devontae. Two, because you still wide receiver 14. Like, you still pull away something. I like getting Marquise Brown in a player. That player being Javonte Williams is what scares me. I don't trust Javonte. I
agree with you that he's hard to trust, but it just the trend lines right now for him just seem like he might be. He had 15 carries in the game versus Green Bay, then 27 carries in the game versus Kansas City. He's gotten 3 catches in each of the last 2 games. He's gotten at least 2 catches in every game that he's played, but one.
You get Warren instead of like a guy like in like that Warren tier. It's like somewhere around that. Like I get that Jalen Warren is like only like RB28, but that's because like they're trying to trust Najee Harris. But like Jalen Warren could probably be a 1 on that team for real. Like they just gave him more snap percentage.
I agree with you in that aspect, but from this aspect of this combo, I mean, if he is another running back that you can trade it to that you like a little bit better, like that's the perfect counter. But truth be told, especially with the Denver ending with Detroit, New England, the Chargers, 2 games with the Chargers, the game versus Houston. Now, I mean, I think I actually would probably take that trade because I think Javonte actually might not be that bad with the way he's trending right now. He has the bye this week. Coming out of the bye, I think he actually might be viable.
Problem that Javonte doesn't stay healthy. That's also my problem too.
That's true.
I would want someone with a little bit more stability.
Well, Devontae with Aiden O'Connell, how stable is that? Like, It's going to be nerve-wracking a little bit.
Gonna throw to. I mean, no, like you definitely have to move off of Adams. I feel like you still need to be trying to. Like I said, I like the Marquise Brown on the side. The risk that you assume is in the Javonte side of it.
Right.
Let's see here. Kyler Murray is set to return this week. Fantasy football expectations. I don't even want to go necessarily rest of season on this one. More so just like for this week. Like, let's take this like step at a time with Kyler. Like there's a Call of Duty release coming on Tuesday.
This week I expect a win for my fantasy team because Kyler Murray's going to at least score 15 points like he's projected. I haven't had a quarterback since Richardson's gone down. I had Richardson and Cousins on the same team, and I traded Cousins away because I had lost Mike Williams and Nick Chubb already. Oh, my God. Kyler Murray coming back right now. He's going to make up for that Gabe Davis dud that's going to show up in my lineup this week because he's going to go off like Ding Dell's going to go off this week.
He has to play against Atlanta. And
I don't care. It's Kyler Murray redemption season. We believe, motherfucker. Pick up your controller once this shit is done, but let's get that done, baby. Let's go Cardinals. Yeah. I'm playing Kyler Murray this week. I don't care. He runs. He knows that his career is on the line. He knows this.
I'm playing Kyler Murray where I'm desperate.
I am playing him, and I am desperate.
Yeah, I'm playing we're desperate. I'm not gonna.
I played Heineke last week.
I did as well.
In a 1 QB league.
Okay, I did not do that. I'm not that desperate. In a 2 QB though, I am firing up Kyler Murray. Single QB, absolutely not.
I am firing.
Hold on. I'm gonna say temper your expectations. I'm tempering my expectations.
Yes.
Let me see a week. Yep, let me see a week first. But where I'm desperate in 2 QB, I'm running it. The Citizen, Tua and Devontae for Pollard and AJ Brown. His QB is Carr right now. Who do you have as your other QB?
If I'm getting Pollard and AJ Brown, fuck yes. That's the side I want.
Who is your other quarterback?
It doesn't even matter. I'll go pick up Tyrod Taylor when he comes back. Let's go.
If you're like if you're gonna like send away Tua and Devontae, but like you have like a how, and then you're bringing back Pollard and AJ, playoffs. You're going towards the playoffs. That's a playoff move.
Yeah.
If you're getting rid of Tua and Devontae for Pollard and AJ Brown, but that fucking QB situation is going to be like a Bajet or some shit.
But what if he picks up Kyler Murray? Oh, he is Stroud. Fuck yeah. Do that, dude.
Then we're running it.
Do that.
Yeah,
hell
then
yeah.
We're good. Yeah, then we're good. Then we're good.
Oh, yeah. I'd play Stroud rest of the season. Especially when you upgrade at wide receiver and add in a solid running back.
Trade Kamara for Brees and Evans. I have Swift too. Or do I trade Swift instead for those two? I feel like you're gonna want to keep Swift. You're gonna want to keep Swift.
I
want to keep Swift and Kamara. I almost want to keep Swift.
Let me just look at one thing here. Hold on 1 second. Let me just see if Alvin Kamara is maintaining he's the number 7 fucking running back and he missed 4 games. There's no way you trade Alvin Kamara if you're going for a championship. His receptions are just so stupid ridiculous. He has 1 game with 13, 1 game with 12. He has at least 3 catches in every single game. He has 3 games with over 7 catches. He just gets too much passing work. That's the magic of him. That's what we all wanted out of Gibbs. This is what Gibbs was supposed to be.
You want to keep Kamara. You definitely want Swift on that Philly offense. You're not downgrading to the
honestly, Jets. I'm not even trading for those guys. I keep your guys. Keep your guys.
Yeah, you rock, Leo. You go. You stick to what you got.
Yeah, because Evans, Evans is nice. He's great, but it's Baker Mayfield. Exactly. Baker's gonna Baker. I just don't trust.
Yeah, I'm not trusting those other 2 offenses at all.
No.
Fuck that. Will Levis named the starter rest of season. What's your outlook? Are you starting him? I'm definitely firing up Will Levis in 2 QB leagues.
I mean, again, I'm more Kyler Murray than Mr. Mayo, but for the Titans, I understand this move and I understand what we've seen from him. So I'm actually more optimistic from the standpoint of maybe Treylon Burks might become viable again. Maybe I can get like that sneaky waiver pick out of him in a couple of weeks. And because he is someone last season that showed some really big plays and so
No,
showed some really
let's
big
just focus
promise.
on D-Hop, Chig, Derrick Henry, and I'm good there. Treylon Burks never going to be a thing, in my opinion.
I'm just praying, like, because I like when I'm looking or forecasting, like, all right, well, that's because Hopkins, like all the guys you mentioned are rostered.
Only in Dynasty are you wanting for Burks to be a
In
thing.
in redraft for the end of the season, there's guys that show up where if he could, because he's been hurt most of the season. Like Burks isn't a bad player; he's just been hurt. And now, if he gets a shot at this end of the season, obviously he's been a bust to the highest order, but maybe Levis can help salvage his season by giving him some consistency of a guy that can drop back and hit him, and maybe he can get healthy because he hasn't been healthy at all this season. But from a Levis standpoint, I'm excited to actually see him play in action. I'm excited to see him command the offense and see what he can do over these last couple of games. Because let's face it, you have Tannehill under contract. You have him now. This is a QB rich draft. I think you got to see what you got in him, because maybe you got to make a move in the draft. Maybe you got to move up and get a guy. Maybe he's not it, or maybe he is the guy, and you want to start getting him the reps and understanding what kind of pieces you need to put around him to make him better. So I like this move in an NFL standpoint. From a fantasy standpoint, I am probably not going to be starting him in single QB leagues. In 2 QB leagues, trust me, I understand. You're going to have to start pretty much any starting quarterback you can at a certain point with some of these injuries that have happened to a lot of people. So that's pretty much what I'm taking on single QB. I'm definitely navigating toward a Kyler Murray before I get a Will Levis.
Will Levis is more of a 2 QB situation for me still. But if you're desperate, you're super desperate. Drop Kirk or Flowers in PPR. Why is this even a situation?
No, yeah, you don't drop either one of those two guys. They are too good. Just no.
Neither. There has to be someone else you could drop. There has to be. There. What? Type out your roster and we could help. We could help a little bit better. Rise of the Veterans took place today. That's what I'm calling today's headlines. We had some really weird signings. Carson Wentz to the Rams. Martavius Bryant to the Cowboys. Sammy Watkins to the Colts. And I guess it's a Fournette to the Bills thing that could be happening. We don't know. Jacob Eason to the Giants, if you want to throw that in there, but he's not really a veteran like that. That's more so just rookie redemption time. With that situation, you're just like, okay, put on enough tape so like you can land an NFL job, hopefully. What are your thoughts on Wentz to the Rams? Like just kind of Wentz to the Rams, Watkins to the Colts, and Bryant to the Cowboys are like the main ones that are just really fucking weird to me.
I mean, listen, I don't really have an opinion on any of them. I like Fournette's position or role that he can take in Buffalo for the playoffs and for the end of the season. That makes a lot of sense, but I have to look at that Carson Wentz signing and say, Jets, what the are you doing?
Rams.
How did you not get him so long ago?
Rams.
I know. He signed with the Rams. Yes, I know. I say Jets. what the fuck are you doing? Because Wilson is not it. And this is a good team. And a guy like Wentz, I think, should have been playing. And I'm glad that the Rams signed him because this could be very much like they did what they did with Baker Mayfield last season, where Baker was thrown at the trash can. And guess what? He came in with a couple of games with McVay. He won a couple of games. He put a little magic out there. Now he's a starting QB for the Bucs. This is a good opportunity for Carson Wentz. I don't think Wentz is washed. I think Wentz still he was a good player. He didn't get in he had some bad luck. He had a couple of bad years. And right now, with this situation, with this team, if he can show a little bit of spark, I think it'll just further reinforce the fact that he should be at least on a team like, as a backup or something, or at least giving him an opportunity for some of these QBs that are not viable. Let's face it, a lot of these QB options that are coming out here right now, they are not good. They are not putting up solid numbers. Sam Howell is the number 2 QB in passing yards for the season. Let's face it. There are a lot of guys that are not it and not performing to the level that they should be. So there should be veterans in camp to push these people from the beginning. So if you're not playing good, the coach can say, you know what? You don't got it right now, kid. I'm going to give Wentz the shot because you're not playing the way you should be. You're not showing up like a professional. You still think this is college because day in and day out, year in, year out, we're seeing too many teams that are not delivering, and these young kids are put into situations they shouldn't be in, that we should be giving these veterans a shot to continue to play and actually put a better product out on the field and let them lose because of skills.
Carson Wentz is not putting out a better product, even underneath McVay and the
Zach
Rams.
Wilson?
No, honestly, probably not. Last time that we saw Carson Wentz, he was ass. It was terrible. It's been bad. It's going to continue to be bad.
Tommy DeVito is trash. I agree with you, but we're tanking.
Tommy DeVito is trash. Yeah,
we're tanking.
You guys are definitely tanking. No, in regards to the Carson Wentz signing with the Rams situation, Rams needed to find a way to keep afloat, try to win ball games, stay in the hunt. It's a signing that clearly is like, okay, just win us enough, keep us afloat type of signing. I'm not going to say that I don't like it. I'm not going to say that I'm hype about it. I think that it can win football games for the Rams. I don't think that it's a fantasy football relevant move. Look, I just told you guys that Stroud was a fucking 77% rostered, and he's fucking QB8. Howell's QB6, and he's 61% rostered. There's people out here making mistakes in fantasy football and overlooking diamonds in the rough that they could easily have on their teams and have on their roster. MVP wins. Insert Vince McMahon video crying. Look, I don't think that this moves the needle in terms of other quarterbacks that are available that you can go and get from a fantasy football standpoint. He's not even going to have enough time to learn the playbook. They're going to throw him out there. We saw how Josh Dobbs had to go out there and try and rescue fucking Minnesota after Hall going down, and how that looked.
God,
yeah,
I'm so mad. Fucking killed me.
Awful. So no, I mean, with that being stated, Wentz not moving the needle. Martavis Bryant it's a cool redemption story. It's the same guy that the rest of the Cowboys receiving room is. Like, you didn't bring anything that moves the needle. And then the Sammy Watkins signing, I mean, we've seen this story before. And that's my take on that. Like, Sammy Watkins is going to show up for one game in a Colts uniform and then fall off the fucking face of the earth. The fantasy world's going to get hype, and then that's going to be the end of it.
Pretty much.
They get smoked on the offseason now. We'll see if he can stay off on the regular season. Other than that, that's been the Goal Line Goons. Like, we pretty much like covered everything and like even like a little bit more that I wanted to get done. Greatly appreciate all of you. You guys are the shit. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe to Big Guy Fantasy Sports. Check us out, BigGuyFantasySports.com, for all the latest greatest in fantasy football tools, articles, podcasts, and much, much more. I'm RumboyzRobbie. He's TDS Taco. Hey, and it's the Goon Squad.
Preaching on the yeah.